Every entrepreneur has one. The moment you decide to start your own business, your story begins. And if you're like most business owners, your plan and your reality can end up being miles apart. Welcome to PTC TV and our series entitled The Journey. Each week, we will be talking to business owners about their business journey. Our hope is that by sharing these stories, others may find understanding, inspiration, and the will to succeed. So let me ask you, what's your story? Welcome to The Journey, brought to you by Pull the Shoot. I'm your host, Jeff Cecil, and today I'm excited. We're here with Dean Wegner. He is the CEO and founder of Authentically American here out of the Nashville area, and we're excited to talk to Dean a little bit. Dean, welcome to the show. Appreciate you being here.
Honored to be a guest, Jeff. Thank you very much.
So Dean, before we get started, I want to really jump into all the stuff that you're doing here, this Authentically American stuff, but just give our viewers a little bit about your background, if you wouldn't mind.
So I love when your viewers, audience can get to know me personally, and what I say, Jeff, my priorities in life align with God, family, and country, and my Christian faith is first and foremost in my life.
Love it.
And we talked a little bit previously about family. My wife, Kelly, and I, we've been married 28 years, and we've got 4 amazing kids. We've got 2 daughters, 24 and 21.
Okay.
Have an 18-year-old son and a 12-year-old son we adopted from Ethiopia 10 years ago. So
that's
family is oftentimes being a big sports and activities family, very, busy, very active, but love nothing more than spending time with family.
Remember those days? Yeah. We got the 3 girls, so.
And we don't have grandkids yet, so we're not even to your realm yet.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. So, how did you keep going?
I was just going to finish from a country standpoint. Yes. This is where the veteran ties in. So, I was privileged to attend and graduate the United States Military Academy at West Point. So, I graduated in '93. Okay. And I went to flight school, learned how to fly helicopters. Then had a unique opportunity after flight school to go to the Army Special Forces Ranger School.
Fun.
And spent 7 years active duty, and most of it was fun, but Ranger School was fun where it was not a lot of fun. I mean, it was awful, terrible, miserable, which we can talk more about that later because it was great training for leading a startup.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine it was, That's great. All right, and finally?
So continue professionally. I tell everybody I'm a veteran. And an entrepreneur, but when I left the Army in 2000, couldn't even spell entrepreneur. And I worked at big companies like Procter & Gamble and Mars, and we can talk more about the catalyst before becoming an entrepreneur. But 5 years ago, from a blank sheet of paper, is when we launched Authentically American.
That's great. Love it.
Jeff, I'm exhausted because it's been far more than I ever envisioned.
Is it? Yeah.
And a lot of it is, everything I took for granted in the Procter & Gamble and Mars days, these big Fortune 500 companies, supply chain, systems, process, finance, cash flow, everything we've had to build from the ground up. So I'm exhausted, but even more energized because something that really drives me is this insatiable desire to know that I'm making a difference. And that's what we're truly having an opportunity to do now, is make a difference.
Yeah, I love that. And it's the entrepreneurial passion that always drives me, right? And you get through certain things, and one of the things that I talk about a lot of times is this whole clock. It was given to me this way, and it made sense to me, which is, entrepreneurs have a tendency, if they started at 12 and if they got all the way to 9 and they're struggling so hard, that they have a tendency to just hang up the shoes and just say, I'm done. When if they would have just pushed themselves through to 10, everything starts to take off, right? Because when you quit, you're that close, and so I like to encourage entrepreneurs to say, look, don't give up. Push a little harder, push a little further. It's never as easy as we think it's going to be. But if you want to be successful, and if you're truly passionate about it.
Jeff, that is a great message for entrepreneurs, and I feel like I've been around the clock a few times. We've not quite made it there, but we launched in 2017, and we've been working hard and working fast and diligent, and feels like we're running so fast, but that flywheel concept now, because now we have customers and clients have ordered once, they love it, they're ordering a second, third, fourth, fifth time, they're telling everybody, and that flywheel is really starting to take off, and we're on the verge of being that overnight success story.
That's great.
5 years in the making. And there were times over the last few years that it felt like it was time to pull the plug, but it's not just me, but our entire team. We truly believe in what we're doing and the opportunity to make a difference.
So why did you decide to start Authentically American? Give us some backstory.
Authentically American, we are an apparel brand. And we've got amazing product, Jeff, and it's all made right here in the U.S.
That's
and
great.
to give you an idea how rare American made is, when I graduated from West Point in '93, over 50% of our apparel was made in the U.S. Today it's 3.5.
And that's just crazy. Yeah, crazy.
And it's shocking how low. And that shocking statistic, Jeff, gave birth to our tagline, where's yours made?
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, great looking, pull the chute, Oxford, where's yours made? And most people look at me like, Dean, I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But when they look in the tag and they see, made in China, made in Vietnam, made anywhere but the U.S., and as much of a grind has been with COVID and 2.5 years in a global pandemic, there's a war in Ukraine, there's the multifaceted threat from China.
Right.
Country of origin matters now more than it has in a long time. And there's two sides of our business, Jeff. There's a consumer side. So things that I'm wearing that are authentically American branded or our collegiate licenses like West Point, Naval Academy, all the military schools. So you as an individual consumer can make a purchase, but 90% of our business is more corporate B2B focused. So we have big Fortune 500 clients like Pepsi and Bridgestone and Comcast.
Wow.
We have big veteran charities like Wounded Warrior, Tunnel to Towers, Team Red, White, and Blue. All these order thousands, all the way down to small businesses because we keep our minimums low. But what drives us, Jeff, is every shirt, every order, every customer that comes on board, that means we're creating more jobs.
Oh, that's great.
That means we're changing a difference. And here's the exciting point for us, Jeff, and why it's been energizing for us to stay the course. So a little more detail on that 3.5% number. So in 2017, when we launched, that number was 2.7%.
Oh, wow.
So 5 years later, it's now up to 3.5, which that is a 30% increase in the industry. In the industry,
yeah.
And that's not our business. And if we continue that in another 5 years, we may double an industry. Wow. I mean, think of that. It's an industry, not
right. Yeah,
brand.
right.
And
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
has an impact, and you're seeing more and more out there. I mean, one of the things that Congress rarely agrees on, but it's Buy American. It's how do we prevent that multifaceted threat from China? So country of origin matters, and that's why we're excited, and our business is really taking off.
That's great. I love it. I love it. So you started it because you wanted Authentically American to be U.S. based. Even all the materials and all that. How difficult was that to find that stuff in the U.S., right? Because I'm thinking in my head, like,
Jeff, because it's incredibly difficult.
Yeah,
right.
3%
is American made.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it difficult. But most anything in life, if it's worthwhile, it's going to be difficult.
That's true.
It's going to be challenging, and we've got an amazing network of contract manufacturers, and one of our ethos is we believe in the American worker. And
love that.
Part of what makes this all worthwhile is, we live in a digital technology age. It's amazing we can sit here and this is going to be streamed, literally all around the world if we wanted it.
Yeah.
But I have visited every one of our factories in 11 states across the country, and what gives me great pride is when people say, Dean, I love it to know that I'm producing something with my hands that Jeff or one of your listeners is going to wear, and it's going to be their new favorite. And I'll show you one example because, Jeff, we talk a lot about being veteran-owned. We highlight how important it is to choose American-made, but nothing else matters unless we deliver an amazing product experience. And I highlight this because this is a fun pair of socks.
Sure.
And I joke, Jeff, that nobody wears ties anymore. Socks.
It is. It's the sock thing. You're right. Yeah. No, it is.
And people wear fun, patriotic socks.
Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit last week about the incredible national TV exposure we've received.
Yep.
So these fun, patriotic socks, for the last time we were on national TV, were the #1 seller.
Really?
And here's why. The host on Fox and Friends in front of 2 million people said these are his favorite pair of socks.
Aww.
And it was interesting what he said because he didn't say anything about them being American-made.
Right.
He said they're so soft, so comfortable. They have this fun, patriotic design. That's why they're his favorite pair. And one, you can imagine the spike in traffic.
Yeah, sure.
You can imagine the spike in sales, which was incredible.
Great.
But when you have an experience like that, Jeff, you will read the fine print that says designed in Nashville, made in North Carolina. But you don't get to that experience, don't get to that point unless you have an amazing product experience. Right. And that is what's most important for us. It's what's fun about socks too is wipe off all the branding here. We've had hundreds of custom designs for our clients. So you've got a unique color and logo. You can have pull the chute branding and colors and logos, and that's what our businesses, charities use these as fun gifts for their employees.
Oh, that's great.
Or client gifts.
Awesome, love that. So it's been a 5-year journey. I am sure there's been some highs and some lows. Maybe you want to share one of the highs and one of the lows for us?
Well, One of the highs definitely was, that very first national TV appearance.
Sure.
Back in September of 2018, so a little over 3.5 years ago.
Wow, that's a long time ago. That's great.
And never envisioned that happening. So when the producer from Fox and Friends called and said, "What a great feel-good American story you have. Would you want to be on national TV?" I almost fainted and fell out of my chair. But I literally, Jeff, spent over 100 hours preparing. Because you have no idea what kind of questions you ask.
Yeah,
you
right.
never know which direction they're going. And prior to that point, we'd been in business almost a year and a half. People would say, "Authentically American who?"
Yeah.
What? I've never heard of you, because it's such a big industry, it's such a big category, and there's so many big competitive brands. But when we had that national TV experience, people are like, "Wow, you
That's
guys
great.
were on national TV,
Yeah.
you're legit, you got some credibility." So that was one of the highs, but probably one of the lows, Jeff, has been during COVID. We weren't sure if we were going to survive.
Really?
I mean, it's, are we going to meet payroll? Are we going to have enough money to go ahead and pay our suppliers? And it was a challenge because we have 11 states that we manufacture. So these socks we produce in North Carolina, T-shirts we make in Texas. You can see the fun Hawaiian style shirt that we make in Georgia. So 11 states. And when COVID, there were threats of shutdown. We're like, if they shut down all our factories, we don't have any
What
product.
are we going to do? Oh,
And if we don't have any product, we don't have any revenue. And we have investors, but for the most part, we're a bootstrap startup. So that was one of the low points, and it happened multiple times, like, are we going to survive?
Yeah.
But to your clock analogy, when it struck 9, 10, like, you know what? Not just me, but the whole team believes in what we're doing.
That's great.
They truly believe we have an opportunity to make a difference, to create jobs. And if we're successful, Jeff, in building this iconic American brand with the same visual recognition of a Nike, Polo, or Under Armour, think of the incredible legacy we'll leave.
That's incredible. And the number of lives that you're just touching. I mean, I think we've lost that whole made in America or made in the USA kind of piece. And I think this is important to do that. As far as employees go, how many employees are you handling now? And you're getting ready to move into a new facility, I understand. So, things are looking up, that's for sure.
And it'd be interesting if you did a 360 video here. People are like, "Oh my goodness, it's kind of a mess here." But this is kind of that exciting phase that we're in, and we're growing, we're expanding. But as a bootstrap startup, we keep our team lean and mean, and we do a little bit of everything.
Okay,
so
good.
one thing, Jeff, to explain the business model and the manufacturing. So the most common manufacturing in the apparel industry is contracted.
Okay.
So Nike, for example, they produce in China, Bangladesh, Vietnam, all around the world, but they don't own those factories.
Okay.
They are contract, and it's the same way for us.
Okay.
I mentioned the socks in Texas, the T-shirts. Socks in North Carolina, T-shirts in Texas. So 11 states, but that's contracted. So those employees aren't on our payroll. But as a lean and mean startup, we try and outsource as much as we can. So
good.
Our finance, accounting, IT, even some of our digital support is outsourced. But as we grow, we start bringing on board. So we have, between full-time, part-time, and direct contracted, there's 8.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good. It's a good number. I'm thrilled, and I want to expand on that a little bit. You talked about outsourcing, because I think that's an important part for businesses. Yeah. Sometimes, the struggle I always run into with entrepreneurs is that they feel like, oh, I can make the socks. That's the easy part. But they forget about the rest of the business that they have to deal with, right? The IT and the finance and all that stuff. So it's great that you did that. And was that a realization that, hey, I don't know the stuff, I need to outsource it? Or was that just the easiest route? Why did you come up with that solution?
I think twofold. One, when you're outsourcing, it's not fixed. When you hire somebody, I don't ever want to hire somebody and then have to let them go. So when it's outsourced, it's a variable expense. So you can expand as needed, as you can contract as needed. So that was the number one focus. But we talked a little bit, Jeff, last week about being a big sports family.
Yeah.
I played hockey at West Point, still play men's beer league hockey now. So love sports. But the reason I'm bringing this up is the importance of team.
Yeah.
And I believe business is the ultimate team sport, because even if you're a sole proprietor, you need to have a banker. You need to have an accountant. You need to have a tax guy, an attorney. Then you've got all your product suppliers.
Right.
And you don't have direct authority over them, so you've got to have that great teamwork and dynamic. And that was the other realization, that as we're building this team, some is going to be directly on our payroll, some is going to be part-time, full-time, contracted, but we need to build this great culture that is all about teamwork and how do we work together to delight our customers and deliver an amazing product experience.
Yeah, and boy, you hit the nail on the head for me, because my tagline is "Grow your people, grow your company," right?
Yeah.
And so it's all about teamwork. I feel like as you're getting ready to build a foundation, that it's your team and your people that are going to get you there, and you're proving that with what you guys have done through this, especially through COVID and everything.
If it was relying on me, Jeff, we would have folded 3 years ago, and we wouldn't even be having this discussion right now.
I know. When I started Pull the Chute, the first thing I did was put a team together, because I thought, when you're by yourself, it's so hard, because you can have blinders on and not see things outside of it. So I have my team. We have a team meeting once a week, and it's funny because it's that time when they look at me and I say, "Hey, I had this idea," and they kind of go, "Huh?" or, "Oh, I love that idea," right? Yeah. But it helps me know that I'm not working in a bubble. And I think that's important from an entrepreneur standpoint, is, try not to get caught of working in the bubble. I think rely on your team, ask questions, help them to be involved in what you're doing. I think that really drives it.
No, absolutely. And that's where, the initial idea and inspiration was one for me, but all the rest of the great ideas are coming from the team. And when you build that environment, that's where, people feel empowered and they feel like they have an opportunity to share ideas that are going to help grow our business.
Absolutely. Yeah, I always tell people, I say, look, when people have a particular job, always ask them, what do you need to do your job better?
Yeah.
And then whatever that is, get it for them. Why? Because now they're A, going to do their job better, don't get me wrong, but B, they now own it, because it's theirs. They asked for something, you got it for them, they now own it, and you'll never have to worry about that. They'll do their best they can to make sure that their job is done right. And I think that's an important aspect of it. So what is one of the biggest, as you sit here today, short of moving into a new facility, what's another big challenge that you guys are going through?
So I'll tell you, Jeff, another one that we really struggled with was focus. And I'm not even borderline ADD. I really struggle with focus. And part of it was to be expected, because we're a new brand launching from a blank sheet of paper. So you're trying all kinds of different things and seeing what was working.
Right.
But we were trying way too many things and not focusing. And what COVID forced us to do was focus.
Oh, really?
And between the consumer side and the B2B side, we really found that it's hard to compete on the consumer side, because it's such a big industry. There's so many big brands spending big money on advertising that we can compete. But what we can compete, Jeff, is on the client B2B side. And one of my new favorite mantras is, the riches are in the niches.
Oh, interesting.
And apparel is a massive $300 billion industry. And my initial thinking was, well, this is great. Our target audience is everyone, because unless you live in a nudist colony, you need clothes. Wake up every morning and make a decision on what shirt you want to wear, which, guess how well that worked? Not as well as we like.
It's kind of like, if you build it, they will come. No, that didn't happen.
So now we've said, our business, our brand really resonates with veteran-owned and veteran-operated businesses and veteran-focused charities.
Okay.
And some specific numbers, there's 400,000 veteran-owned business in the U.S. with 10 or more employees.
Wow, that is a great stat. I had no clue.
There's 30,000 veteran-focused charities. Wow. So we're just, we've worked with over 150, veteran charities, for example. But that means there's 39,850 more that we've not worked with. But not a lot of them are fit. But the other piece, Jeff, is sales cycle. So any B2B cycle, any B2B sale, there's a sales cycle.
Okay.
And we can't afford a 6, 12-month or longer sales cycle. And what we found is, when we speak to a veteran-owned, veteran-operated businesses or veteran-focused charities, they're cut from the same cloth. They have similar ethos and values, and they respect and appreciate that we're American-made. So when they will, see and feel our product, like, Dean, you've got amazing product. Yeah. They will see the Made in USA tag and be like, I love your product. I love that it's American-made. You're competitively priced. That 6-month sales cycle is 6 minutes. They're like, I get it. I understand it. I want to go ahead and start ordering from you. So that's focus. I struggled with personally, but now it's producing huge dividends for us.
That's great. Love it. And so are you personally doing a lot of the sales for all this stuff, I would imagine? But
so I was the number one salesperson, the very first one, and I will always have that sense of passion. But as we're growing, we're going to be expanding our team.
Great.
But we talked about product experience. When people say, Dean, this is the softest T-shirt I've ever felt. The sock, so soft and comfortable. That's most important. But what we've also found, Jeff, is when you're a client, we want to deliver an amazing customer experience. And think back to that old Staples commercial with the easy button.
Yeah, right.
Our clients have literally reached out to me unsolicited and said, Dean, I love your product. I love that it's American made, but your team is so easy to work with.
That's great. That's exactly
what you want to hear.
what
is most important. So a lot of times, whether it's me speaking at an event or exhibiting at a trade show, I'll have an opportunity to open the door. But then the team that we've built here,
that's great.
Just does a phenomenal job of delivering on that customer experience where we're that indispensable partner that they want to love working with us.
That's great. I'm glad you realized that too, because I think there are businesses sometimes that get so focused on the product that they forget about the continuation, building the relationship, keeping them on as clients and all that other stuff. It's just an important aspect. I worked with a company one time when I got there, they were a 50% retention. And by the time I left, they were 93%. And all I did was teach them how to build a relationship with the clients, right? And then, so when things go wrong, and they inevitably will at times, you do your best, right? But we're only human. You can have a good conversation with them and say, hey, look, here's what happened. Here's what we just now put in place so this never happens again. And the client will usually go, okay, I appreciate that, thanks.
And let me show you a specific example which ties in product experience, customer experience, and focus. So the T-shirt, Jeff, is the most ubiquitous apparel item. There's billions of T-shirts sold every day. And, if you feel this, you will feel how incredibly soft
look at that. Wow.
that is. And that's by design.
That's great.
Because who doesn't love a nice soft T-shirt? The other thing is the print. I think a lot of the T-shirts in your closet that you may have bought before, they have that heavy plastisol ink. And on a hot summer day, it will stick to your chest. You wash it a few times, it will crack. And if you feel this, we use a soft hand print so you can hardly feel it.
Yeah, you can't feel it at all.
And that's by design because we want the fabric, the print to include tagless. Nobody likes a tag or itch.
I always rip them off anyway.
But Jeff, this is our new sweat-activated print innovation. So I'm going to do a quick kindergarten-style show and tell. So let me turn this around so everyone can see it. So
hold it.
This is fortunately I've got the hanger so I can hold it. So you saw how soft it is? But this is our innovation. So watch what happens when I spray this.
Oh, how cool is that?
You can see Beat Navy.
Beat Navy. Oh, that is awesome.
If you are an Army fan, there's nothing more you want to do than beat Navy.
I love it.
And I love your reaction, Jeff. Your face was like, wow.
Yeah, wow.
And this is what so people literally have said, Dean, no offense, I don't care where it's made.
Yeah.
The shirt is so soft, I can't even feel the print. And your reaction, like, wow, that technology, that's incredible.
And then add that it's made in the USA. Oh, come on.
Yeah. And what happened then is, people who wore it on Friday want to wear it again on Saturday because there's a new favorite. But on a client side, if Jeff, you said, well, Dean, I've got an individual gym, or I've got a sports team or a small charity, the minimum is only 24.
Okay.
So very simple and easy, small barrier to get into.
Yeah.
Because most small businesses and charities can't order thousands.
Right.
But Jeff, we just had a top 10 accounting firm order 27,000.
Oh my goodness. 27,000.
Yes. So, and that's the focus, because it's really starting to say we want to go ahead and take care of all of our customers, but we also want to go ahead and be intentional and focus on the big ones. And
that's amazing.
That's the power of the product experience. One where people say, "That's my new shirt."
Yeah.
Coupled with the uniqueness in our brand being American made in this innovation, but then the client experience, because our team did an amazing job. Through the whole design process, we're like, you guys are amazing. Because it started with all sweat activated, but they're like, all your T-shirts are soft, so it's split between graphic and sweat activated. But we've got more clients in the works like that, and that's why we're excited.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. That is so exciting. So you're here today. You're moving into a new facility. Where do you want to be in, let's say, 3 years? Let's just pick a number.
So the number one word for us, Jeff, is growth.
Okay.
Because when we grow, that means there's more socks, there's more T-shirts, there's more quarter zips, polos, hoodos being ordered. And every new item, every new customer means we're creating more jobs. So I don't have an exact timeline, but what would really be an incredible milestone for me is if that 2.7% became 5.4, meaning we doubled an industry.
That's great.
And that to me is all about making a difference. That's all about creating jobs and ultimately leaving a legacy.
Love it. Love it. Amazing. I love what you've started. Congratulations on making it 5 years. This is just an incredible opportunity. I love the T-shirt. I just keep looking at that going, I've never seen anything like that. That is very,
and what's
very cool.
Fun about this, Jeff, is wipe off the Go Army.
Yeah.
whatever you want printed,
Sure.
whatever you want to magically appear can happen. So we've done hundreds of custom designs. So
that's great.
we do polos, quarter zips, dress shirts, but these are two examples: the socks and the sweat activated T-shirt that are so unique and differentiated. Another one is that fun custom Hawaiian shirt there. That was our own consumer brand we did last year for 4th of July. A lot of our clients now at trade shows are interested in a custom Hawaiian shirt because instead of showing up with something solid,
right,
a black or gray, now you're like, man,
we're
really making a statement and really sticking out.
That's great. Hey, so if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
So the best place to go is our website, authenticallyamerican.us.
Okay.
Authenticallyamerican.us, and that .us was an intentional choice given the equity of our brand.
Love it.
Then whether you're an individual consumer, want these fun pair of patriotic socks, whether you're a small business, a charity, whether you're an executive or president at a large firm or a big charity, we've got many options to go ahead and partner with you.
Great.
But it all starts at our website, authenticallyamerican.us.
Love it, love it. Hey, Dean, thanks so much for your time today. Really, really appreciate it. I'm excited to share this story. And for those of you out there watching, thank you so much always for your support. We get great feedback from you, and that's what drives us to be and do what we do. So we hope that you've enjoyed today with Authentically American with Dean. And we're excited that there's always a new and interesting business coming up that just continues to drive us as entrepreneurs for the future and for the growth of the entrepreneurial area and landscape. So thank you so much for that. Until we meet again, stay safe and be healthy. Have a great day.